All right. So here we go, Lee. I changed the question up for us here. All right. Would you rather give up air conditioning and heating for the rest of your life or give up internet for the rest of your life?
Internet.
Yeah, me too. Because being without air in the summer and heat in the winter would be terrible.
You can't even live without air. You're gonna die.
Yeah. It's like, you know that a lot of people there's a lot more people in the South than there were before people had air conditioning in their house because people
Uh-huh.
didn't want to live here. It was too hot. And now everybody wants to come here because we got air conditioning and it's nicer in the wintertime. So yeah, Ava says internet too. Y'all are wise. I would agree with that too. Um, so I actually lived in the world without internet. It wasn't so bad. You know, the hardest thing about it though was I don't know if y'all's like parents have told you about this before, but before we had cell phones, if you wanted to talk to somebody, you had actually had to like sit next to the phone and wait on them to call.
Yeah, that's what my mom told me. She said either she dialed the person with that old phone and then had to keep doing that
Yeah.
with the little circle
Oh,
thingy,
she had
or
one of the
she had
circle ones. Yeah.
to,
We had one at my
or she
grandma's
had to
house.
wait for the person to call her.
Yeah. We had one of those at my grandma's house and it worked, but it wasn't like we didn't use it regularly or anything. Um but I'm just talking about like even when I was a teenager, like we didn't have cell phones. So if you wanted to call and talk to your friends, you had to go literally sit next to the phone that was tied to the wall or whatever, you know? And so like when I started driving, my mom didn't have a cell phone yet. So when I got somewhere, I would have to call and she would have to be waiting on me beside the phone to make sure she knew I was safe. That's crazy, right? So she couldn't do anything till I called, so she wouldn't be worried about me. It's so crazy how different that is now. Morning, Quincy. We our question was: you'd rather give up air conditioning and heating the rest of your life, or give up the internet? And then all three of us said internet, which I think is probably the good answer here. Um, all right,
Yeah,
so
because if you're someone who chooses living without heat
heat
and
and
air
air.
conditioning, that's just crazy.
Yeah, unless they live on like there's some areas in like the Mediterranean and like Spain and Italy that might be okay, where it's
Yeah,
kind of
true.
just, you know, you can make it. But yeah, I don't think so. All right. So let's look over goals and vision boards here. All right. So vision is like your future plan or goal using your insight, perception, or inventiveness. Like what do I want to get accomplished? I have a vision for this. And I think the thing is, the reason this is worth doing again is we always have different vision. Like it changes over time, right? So like Aaliyah, when we first went through this one back in September, I had a certain mindset of what I was going to do in like a few years, and I kind of changed my mind a little. All right, like so I'm gonna, I'm working on a PhD in history, but I think I'm gonna slow down a little bit because I really like what we're doing with our school and with the track team I'm working with my kids, and I want to make sure I spend more time on that. So I'm gonna slow down a little bit on my
I
classes.
have a perfect example right here.
What was that?
Vision board.
Oh, you got kind of things you want to accomplish and stuff.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, that's very good. And I think that you're probably seeing the more you kind of keep before you what your goals are, the better you do, right? Um, so why making a vision board matters provides a clearer picture of what you'd like to accomplish, gives you something to look forward to, and helps you realize and believe that your goals can be achieved. Um, just helping you feel successful, and the more you feel successful, the more you want to be successful. And I give you an example of this. Aaliyah, have you met Chloe's sister Jasmine before?
Yep.
On
And
any
yeah, an FCA.
Yeah. So we just started doing so Chloe did cross country in the fall, right? Um,
Uh-huh.
but they're both doing track in the spring. And so Jasmine's started enjoying doing it, and now she's like, okay, now what are the things I want to do to get better in my running, right? And so now she's starting to think of what are the ways I can improve, and it kind of gives her, she has a vision of, okay, by this point I want to be this fast. So what are the things I need to do to be this fast, right? And I think running is a good example of that because it's like, you know, all of life is a race in a sense, right? Like we're running our race and we got to have a goal before us to know what we want to accomplish, right? Regardless of what your view on that is, you know, we need something to shoot for, or else we not going to be really aiming, right? So, some concepts about goals: write it down, create a plan, picture it, reflect on progress, change if necessary, celebrate success. So, visualize yourself working towards your goal, see yourself accomplishing that goal, and imagine how that will feel. And then picture it in your mind, map it out, and create a vision board. So, like, for example, for Jasmine, she is thinking about some of the girls that were in seventh grade with her at Powdersville here, before she went to online school, is in a couple of weeks we have a track meet and we're going against them, right? So she's thinking, how is it going to feel for me to beat them, right? So then she is thinking, how, okay, I'm going to be able to run this fast and throw the javelin this far, and just thinking about what that's going to look like for her, right? Same thing if you're thinking about like, okay, how is it going to feel when I make an A on Mr. Madavi's test, right? Then it's like, okay, what am I going to do to do that, right? And that probably looks like, for example, I know Chloe made a really good grade on one of his recently, and you know, you could use the little textbook thing, right? So it took her like 2 hours because she was looking back and checking in the text like she's supposed to, and just recognizing that your picture for that probably should make sure that you're including that, hey, I'm gonna have to work hard. This is gonna take a while, right? But then realizing that, okay, when I feel like I just want to click and move on, then think, how am I gonna feel when I work hard, get this right, and then I'm gonna be like, yes, I did it. And that's gonna feel like you know, a real sense of accomplishment that's legit, right? So collection of phrases, words, images represent what you'd like to achieve. So there's no right or wrong way to do it. And it can be a personal thing you don't have to share with others. And Aaliyah has shared, sorry, everybody, that, you know, she has one and it's, you know, looking over and kind of keeps it in view for her. It's good. All right. So,
That last pinpoint at the vision board is true. They actually do work because
mhm,
some of my things on my vision board are already completed.
yeah. And I would think that the more you get some things completed, the more it makes you want to complete it, right?
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and I know like for Chloe, she used to struggle with math, and now this year she's doing great with math. Well, guess what? It makes her want to do great all the time with math, right? And so there's a sense in which most people, once they see that they can be successful at something, don't like to not be successful at it anymore. You know, it's just not. It's like, dude, I could have done better than that. Once you know you can, you want to. All right. Okay, let me go back to this. All right. So this is just kind of some things on the how to make vision boards, right? That kind of thing. This is kind of more like a collage version of it, but you can do it any way you wanted to. All right. Um, all right. Skip something there. All right. So then, you know, the idea would be celebrate success. So acknowledge your success and congratulate yourself for accomplishing your goal when it happens. And then tell others so they can share in your success. So that's like, you know, it's not like there's a difference between bragging and boasting and being prideful and allowing other people to celebrate with you, right? So, you know, uh, just know the difference of that is like, you know, for example, if you know Aaliyah's talking to me about, hey, did you see that? I did, that was so good, right? And I'm like, yeah, good job. That's not her boasting per se, but if you know we use it over somebody like we're better than them, that would be different, right? Um, and then set a new vision board for future goals, right? So once you see, okay, I'm accomplishing these, what is my next kind of set of goals there? And I would say, like, you know, share what the goals are with parents and stuff like that, and then they can check in on you with that. And something I thought about that I think I want to kind of throw out for the school next year is that I think we should kind of have some goal setting that we kind of check back in on where, student and a teacher and a parent kind of meet together and see how we did on our goals. I think that would kind of help us to hold ourselves a little more accountable on that kind of thing. And I've done that at some schools in the past, and I think it's very successful. So that's something I think we can probably do really well. All right. So what are some thoughts that y'all have on that? On just different vision and goal setting and so forth. Ava and Quincy, how do you guys feel like you're doing with that? Because I've talked to Aaliyah this morning on that. How do you feel like you're doing with that? Or you hadn't thought about it? I mean, that's a good idea. I need to start that. Okay. Ava says she's doing
What'd
pretty
you
good with
say?
it. All right. Quincy,
What'd
you
you
got
say?
any thoughts on that? What's that, Aaliyah?
I said, what'd you say?
I was just talking to them. All right, Quincy says he needs to start that, right? So that'd be good visions to start a vision board, right? So and I'll post these slides in homeroom, and you can kind of look through what it says on doing that, and just kind of it'd be something where you kind of look through with like your mom or something, and say, hey, what are I got these? You think I need to add anything else or whatever, right? And you kind of keep it. See, okay, this is what I want to do. Now, I don't really. I'll tell you this. I don't necessarily keep for me a vision board. That's not what I do, but I do like here's my to-do list, right? So you see all my this is my to-do list for today. Um and so I keep to-do lists for that, and I keep one for a class I'm taking. And so I keep those things there. And when I got my to-do list is this long, that doesn't make me happy, right? Now, those are all things that need to be done before next week, but I know I need to do that, and I got a 10-page paper to write. So I know I got to keep that in front of me to be end up feeling successful and not really stressed over the weekend, right? Because we got a track meet that's going to last all day Saturday. So, just knowing that like that what we're saying to do here is something that is related to all through life success. That hopefully you got to see, yeah, having these goals and having a vision for what you want to accomplish, right? And you know, it's stuff that's like long term, like, okay, this is the career I want. So here's the things I need to do. But then backing off of that and thinking, well, when I back up a bit, then I see, well, what does that look like in the next 3 months, right? In or 2.5 months, right? March, April, and May. How am I? What is my goal for this? So come May, what do I want my success to look like? So, all right. Well, anything else? All right. Let's share this real quick. So before we go, what is one vision you have for the rest of the year? You can kind of share that. If it's something that seems personal, I won't say it out loud if you type it. But if it seems not like a problem, I will. Aaliyah, what's one that you have for the rest of the year? Anybody?
Oh, you said can you share one vision?
Yeah, one vision for the rest of the year. So like the rest of the school year, what's one that you still got that you want?
I still want to make all A's.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
I got one for you. Okay.
I have
Here's one.
never accomplished all A's before, and I really want to.
I'll tell you one that I think will help you in the long run is if you set as your goal like a vision that you're going to try to attach the correct file every time the rest of the year. Well, if you think about it though, that's something that you could easily do if you put it on your vision, right? Because then you could just go click on the file before you turn it in. You see what I'm saying? And I'm kind of messing with you there, but that's one that you're like, dude, I do want to start doing that, right? Chloe has the same thing where we
Well,
want
I've been doing it since last week. What do you mean?
to Yeah, but if you look, if you can keep it up for 9 more weeks, that would be solid, wouldn't it? Right? Because it's kind
Yeah,
of
like
like when I go to turn in, I take a class from Liberty University, and when I go to turn my stuff in, I have to check it. The problem with mine is that when I attach it, I can't check it until it turns in. So then I'll have to click it. I see it, I have to go through it, and then I'm like, oh man, so I'll have to resubmit and tell the professor to check check the second one or something. All right.
mm,
So Ava's want to work on some grades. Quincy's got you got a couple there. All right, so just I think the thing with these is too when you're kind of setting your goals, make sure that you know what whether you accomplish your goal or not.
and
Okay.
I'm not doing too bad in your class. I'm almost at an A. I have the I have an 86 in your class now.
Yeah, you're doing well. That's very good.
I am doing really well.
Yeah.
I used to always have um a 70 like a 70 something or A.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it.
Well, I think that the thing is, Aaliyah, is that our the sixth grade at SC Prep is not like easy on grading like most of the regular like public schools are. And so like what I'm saying is 86 or 87 in my class is probably actually as good as an A if you were at the say regular public school where you live. Does that make sense? Like I know it. I know for a fact it is because like Chloe would go to Powdersville, and I can tell you right now that it the grade you have in my class, you would have an A at Powdersville. Okay, because if you think about it, B is supposed to be for good. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like it's good work. And so if you get to an A, it's like great work. You know, and so that's where it's like you can kind of view it when you start viewing it that way as to what grades are supposed to actually mean, then you can be like, yeah, that's true. So it's like, hey, I won't have a great not fourth round weeks. That would be not, you know? So and I know the other grades are like that too, because Chloe's been working and getting close, but she's gonna try to get them. So all right. Well, I'll let you guys go. I'll see y'all at 10. All right.
Bye
Adios.
bye. Oh, and I'm also coming to the Target time for career clusters.
Got it.